I'm Jasmine Tritten, a Danish immigrant born in Nazi-occupied Denmark and now living in New Mexico. My memoir, The Journey of an Adventuresome Dane, has just been published at the end of 2015, and it's taken me 3 to 4 years to write it. The book contains 23 short chapters of shimmering images or life-changing experiences. Most of the stories are from strong memories. The details come from two places: journals I have kept since I was a teenager, and from long letters I have written to my mother every 2 weeks since I left Denmark in 1964 up until about 6 years ago. Now I call her every day on the phone. My mother will be 100 years old in March 2016, and I'm going to Copenhagen to celebrate her birthday with her. Fortunately, my mother saved all the letters and kept them in a large antique oak trunk. After I decided to write about my life, I began to bring back letters in my luggage every year when I visited my mother in Denmark. How many of you know who from your family came over from Europe on the boat and why? This memoir is my gift to my children, grandchildren, nieces, and nephews, and their children in Denmark, Sweden, and the United States for the time they ask why I left Denmark, when, how I left, and what became of my life. As a little girl in Denmark, I remember riding in the train with my mother. Across from us sat a strange-looking old woman with a white chalked face and large, dark, deep sunken eyes. She fascinated me. My mother told me the lady wrote books and her name was Karen Blixen, also known as Isak Dinesen. She wrote out of Africa about her life on a coffee plantation in Kenya, which later was made into a movie with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford in 1985. Karen Blixen lived in a house next to the water north of Copenhagen, up the coast only about a 20-minute drive from where I grew up. She has inspired me through the years. I always loved to write and have taken many classes and workshops in the last 5 years. I belong to a memoir critique group for a year and a half, and I'm a member of Southwest Writers in Albuquerque. Many short stories I wrote have been published in various anthologies, and a couple have won prizes. Now I'm going to read to you some passages from my memoir. First, I'm reading you a small portion of the chapter called Terror. I was born in Nazi-occupied Denmark during the Second World War. We lived in Seaside, a two-story villa on the coast north of Copenhagen. Dad, a wealthy businessman, imported coal. He was part of the underground, helping Jews to flee in boats at night from Denmark to Sweden. My first intense memory is from age 3. A banging thundered through our house in early 1945. When Mother opened the heavy oak door, a massive figure barged into our hallway. Both of us leaped backward. My eyes focused on long, black, shiny boots stretching forever upward and continuing into what I now know was a crisp black SS uniform. I shivered through the body from head to toe. "Are there any Jews in this house?" a husky voice demanded in a guttural German accent. Next, I'm going to read a portion of the chapter called Flipping a Danish Coin. On a cold autumn afternoon in 1963, I sat with 3 girlfriends in a popular café Tokanten near the town hall square of Copenhagen. We celebrated my decision of traveling to America while sipping hot tea and sharing Danish pastries. In the past summer months, I had asked every American tourist I encountered which city in America he or she favored. Most preferred San Francisco in North America with the Golden Gate Bridge. Others claimed Rio de Janeiro in South America as the ultimate town with a statue of Christ on top of the mountain. I decided to flip a coin to determine my destination between the two. While bouncing on tiptoes, I tossed the hard money piece. The twirly metal flew up high into the air and landed heads up on our table, revealing the Danish King Frederick IX. San Francisco, I yelled while jumping up and down, waving arms in pure delight. I'm going to San Francisco. Now I'm going to read a portion from the very last chapter in my book. Um, so I had a big birthday. I had a big birthday a couple of years ago, and my husband and I, we were talking about doing something special since on my 60th birthday, he got a job on Albuquerque and we moved to New Mexico. What to do on my 70th birthday? Well, how about zip lining between two mountaintops at 10,600 feet, my husband suggested. So this is the last chapter, a portion from it. Zip lining, just do it. It's suddenly apprehensive and panicky. I yelled, Jim, I don't think I can go forward with this. Come on, you can do it, he said to encourage me. I wanted to, but part of me held back. Inside, I was anxious about approaching 70. I used to be brave, now I was a chicken. In a flash, the words, just do it, flowed into my brain. I stood up on the small stepping stool. The guide checked the equipment on me, not my equipment, to make sure lines and straps were in the correct places before setting off. He gave me specific instructions about grabbing an orange rope when I hit the white square attached to the cable right before landing. I was ready. On this first ride, I expected to zip over treetops. Good. I wouldn't be able to see all the way down. Fear crept into my body for a fleeting moment, and I trembled. The words, just do it, prevailed. After the proper signal from my instructor, off I slid along the cable into the unknown. I started at 70 feet above the trees and glided downwards with the speed of lightning. The end of the cable was not visible. I sensed a swishing sound in my ears. My legs flapped. I bent and crossed them at the ankles while holding onto the steel knobs with heavy gloves, elbows almost touching as instructed. All I thought of was getting to the other side and seizing the orange rope. There was no time for anything else. Probably a good thing. I concentrated hard, holding on to the steel knobs. Next minute, I stood on the platform, dragged in by another instructor. However, I didn't even get a chance to catch the orange rope. I zoomed. Wow, I did it. This is the end of my reading. Maybe one day a little girl on the train in Denmark will point at me and ask her mother who that strange looking lady is with the purple hat, and her mother will answer, she is a famous artist who writes books. My memoir is available on Amazon.com, both in print and in Kindle.